This is Heather with Women Own Wheels. Are you looking for a sporty, sleek sedan that hauls ass? Well, then I've got the car for you. This is my top 5 review on the 2020 BMW M340i. Now, the M has a meaning. It actually stands for performance enhancements that do not come standard on the regular 3 Series. The M also means that the retail price on this car is $58,000. Now I want to give a huge thank you to Troy Massey at BMW of Austin for allowing me to test drive and review this vehicle. Let's go ahead and get started with my review. I'm going to be covering styling, safety, technology, storage, and handling. All right, let's start with styling. Now, I really love how aggressive the front end of this car is. And actually, if you look, I love the grille that rolls up onto the plane of the hood. Also, you have air intakes, grills along the bottom, very sporty. Come around to the side of the car and we've got very sharp lines all the way down. 19-inch rims with floating hubcaps. Now, that will always keep your BMW emblem straight no matter how fast you go. Now, this is the performance elements I was talking about. Here's one, is you get the M brakes in this model. Let's look down the car. And now I want to take you inside. The interior boasts a very modern and clean look. The dash has a nice aluminum trim as well as the console. I like how everything was very accessible to the driver, but it also felt very open. And I really like the digital display here in front of the steering wheel that showcased everything you needed. Also has a very nice sunroof. But the seats are extremely comfortable. I was very excited and felt wonderful driving this thing. Now, of course, BMW's driving experience is very important. So you have a lot of adjustables here. We've got the leg extenders. We've got the lumbar support that's adjustable. And you even have a side support that's going to be hugging you around those tight corners. Now let's move on to the back seat. The back seat also was comfortable with adequate legroom, but your feet are kind of pinched a little bit under that seat. So I think it would be great for short trips, but for adults on a long car drive, maybe kind of tight. Number 2 is safety. BMW offers much more than front and side airbags. Their regular package is an active guard, and I'm going to show you right here in front of the steering wheel because that's where you're going to get the alerts, and it's going to give you frontal collision warning, automatic city collision mitigation with braking, and daytime pedestrian protection. Now, the model I drove here also has active driver assistant, lane departure warning, which would I'd get the little nudge in the steering wheel when you get too close to the line, and blind spot detection, which can be seen in the left corner of the side view mirror. Another item I wanted to point out was the great backup camera they have. You get a great view and also a surround view of the vehicle. That's neat to be able to see all the way around, but also when you put the car back in park, it shows you the distance around your vehicle you need to open all the doors. I love this. You know how many times I tell my kids, be careful when you open the door when you're in tight parking around. So this is wonderful to have. It gives you a great overall view to know if you're too close on one side or telling your passenger to hop on over here to this side or just be careful opening up. So it's very nice. Another thing, I don't know if it's actually a safety thing, but I wanted to touch on it. It was something new for me, is this limit button right here. It actually limits the speed that you're going. Interesting, because if you were driving in a neighborhood, speed limit's 45, and you really don't want to get a ticket, then you go ahead and go to 45 and then set the limit button. You still have access to slow down and speed up to 45, but it doesn't allow you to go over 45. So you're kind of governing your own speed. It's pretty cool. That's the only reason I could think to use it, other than if you wanted to teach a teenage driver and you want to make sure they stay under a certain limit driving. So neat little perk there, BMW. Okay, number 3, let's talk technology. I'm going to show you one more time the screen in front of the steering wheel, which houses, of course, your miles per hour, RPMs. It even has the map inlay, and you've got some additional detail information for the driver. But this puppy right here is your computer module, pretty much, that runs the whole car. From having your driver experience, you're able to pick exactly if you want what mode you want to drive in and customize it, to being able to do navigation or your radio, or everything else is here. Now, a neat feature I found is this actually is for everyone. I'm a touchscreen kind of girl, so I like to be able to touch and move through whatever I want. Now, I know I have friends who love buttons. They're not the touchscreen type. And guess what? BMW has that for you right here. Right down here, you can actually click easily to like a map, to the home button, radio and media. Everything is right there as well. And then you have this mouse pad that you're able to twist and then just click to be able to choose what you want to hear or do or see. All of that is easy. So you've got the click, touchscreen, buttons, everything you want. Or if there's just one thing in particular, you can just use that. So I really like those options. Everything is clean here as far as your AC controls and radio stations. Now, I may be a geek on this, but this was kind of cool. If you run your finger, I don't press it, I'm just running my finger across. You can see right here, I'll just hold it barely touching on number 3, and it tells me what station that is. You can run your finger all the way down without pressing any buttons, and it tells you you're assigned. I don't know, thought that was kind of cool. All right, next thing on technology is we've actually got right under where I'm actually keeping my phone, I found handy, but there is your key fob charger. You've actually got a USB port here, a 12 volt. You have another USB port in the glove box, air conditioning controls, and 2 ports in the back. And that covers technology. All right, number 4, let's talk storage. Let me show you some of the little cubbies you've got here in the sedan. Right here in your console, you've got a little spot here that I found very helpful to store my phone, as you can see. It also charges the key fob. Here is the cup holders. We've got cup holders and some small storage in the door. Of course, you've got a decent sized glove box. Center console right here for more storage. And then in this car, you've got a pretty decent sized trunk right in here. And in here, you've got nets to hold up small things in both sides, as well as enough room to store suitcases and you're headed out of town or the airport. All right, last but not least is handling, and this is my wow for this vehicle. The handling on this car was amazing. Not to mention that you can haul ass, but the just response on that gas pedal, being able to just punch it and it answers. I found it to be smooth acceleration. You didn't have any jumpy or bumps or anything like that. And the handling of the car. When I first got in, I thought the steering wheel was a little tight. I was like, oh, felt a little hard. But then once I started driving it, oh, it was so responsive. I really liked it. And you felt such control of the vehicle. So you felt like, yeah, I can give it some gas and I've got some control. You felt empowered. I loved it. Now, another thing BMW, because it is the driving experience, of course. But interior, I went over it a little bit earlier, but they allow you to customize every aspect of your driving experience. And what I mean by that is if you want sport mode, there's a standard sport mode, a plus, that includes, it says, even more dynamic setting. which puts in the differential. These are the elements I talked about earlier that they got from the M. You get the M differential and the M suspension, and this car really feels great. In here as well, on your options, you can pick sports, the plus. You can you can set your own what you want in your vehicle, how you want it to drive, how you want it to handle, in your own configuration, and you can customize that here. So amazing. This car is built around the driver and you driving and your experience, and that was so much fun to do this couple of days that I had it. And so I want to definitely hit the point home that this car is pretty amazing to drive. Not to mention, I love the growl when you start this car, and especially in sports mode. Oh my goodness, just the pop, 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 and everything that gives you. Ah, amazing. I did a video separate just of that because I thought it was pretty cool. Anyway, if you've got any questions, I'd love to answer. There's more to this vehicle than I probably have time to go through, but love it. If you're looking for that sporty sedan, I would really give this one a shot. All right, that sums it up. Thank you so much for viewing. Be sure and like Facebook and Instagram, as well as subscribe to my YouTube at Women Own Wheels. You can also feel free to email me if you've got any questions. I'd love to answer any more questions about the BMW or put you in contact with Troy to answer any further questions on purchasing one. Thanks.